The MK pride is resurgent. The two punks, Axel and Mohawk, have defeated the Nomads and reclaimed their land. Now, the teenagers get a chance to prove themselves.
Oh, she's going.
The MK cubs are also growing bolder and running into trouble.
All these crocs around, it's absolutely insane.
Meanwhile, the Hollywoods, now far to the north, are fully recovered. The Nomads, bruised but not broken, are in retreat.
It might have been the hit that the Nomads needed to knock them back down to earth a little.
Will they head south to challenge the punks again? Or north in pursuit of the Hollywoods? In Zambia's Luangwa Valley, two neighboring prides lay claim to the land. The once powerful MKs, with numbers still rising, and the Hollywood females, who must breed to secure their future. Both prides now face the Nomads, a wild card gang of males looking for new territory. Wildlife filmmakers Nathan Pilcher and Sam Davis are in the middle of the action.
But still,
They'll witness every triumph and every tragedy. Can these two prides beat the odds and survive the greatest challenge of their lives? It's early morning, nearing the end of Zambia's 6-month dry season. Nathan Pilcher is in the far south of MK territory, eager to catch up with the pride's two mothers, Rosa and Zuri, and their 5 cubs.
there's the mother. Fantastic.
The cubs, who are now around 4 months old, are in great condition. And their mothers also look well fed and healthy.
I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, they're doing so well compared to, a few weeks ago with the Nomads coming through and chasing everyone around. It's all looking really good for them.
Up until now, the mothers have kept their cubs hidden from the rest of the pride. But today, they have visitors. The punks have come to keep an eye on their offspring and are lurking just 60 feet away.
So this is the first time we've seen the mothers and the cubs and Axel and Mohawk here together. I think this is kind of the beginning of the introduction for the cubs to the rest of the pride. It's quite late, in my opinion, from what I've seen before, but it certainly seems to be happening.
Ever since the Nomads invaded, the mothers have been especially nervous about anyone coming near their cubs. Zuri, first-time mother of 2, is far from welcoming.
The mom is really snarling at the males, basically telling them to keep away. So they're keeping their distance quite well behaved.
The cubs sense her fear.
It's interesting behavior to watch. Mohawk and Axel just sitting there, looking over, but also at the same time kind of almost looking away as if they're not paying attention. punks are the fathers of these cubs, so there's no real threat there. But the mothers are a little bit unsettled, moving around. They're not quite at ease at the moment.
Axel and Mohawk wisely keep watch from a distance.
Oh, there's another female over there.
It's a lioness from the MK Pride. Unlike the males, she's allowed to approach.
So really interesting, the third female came over and joined the mother and cubs, and there was no sign of aggression. They totally accepted it, which was fantastic to see.
It's not surprising. This new female is Rosa and Zuri's mother, the cub's grandmother.
It's really nice to see that sort of acceptance, and they're very, very calm with each other.
Seeing how relaxed they are, Nathan thinks this isn't the first time the cubs have met their grandmother.
Because the cubs actually know her well enough that they're not sort of going over and curious, playing and sort of seeing who she is.
Granny settles in with the newest members of the family. But the fathers will have to be patient a little longer. Less than a mile to the north, Sam finds the rest of the MK Pride in one of their favorite hunting grounds.
We have a lot of the youngsters here. We've got Kimba and Maya, and they're all just resting under the tree.
The teenagers are nearly 3 years old, the age that males get pushed out of the pride and females reach sexual maturity. They're almost adults and must pull their weight with hunting. Who better to learn from than the expert? Surabi, the oldest, most experienced hunter, has spotted a warthog. Teenager Kimba pays especially close attention. It's an ideal chance for Sam to film her first hunt.
Could this be the day that I finally get the hunt that I've been waiting for?
Dense thicket like this is great for hunting in, but not for filming.
I can't see a pig anymore. We need to move here. Okay, she's running. Okay, I can't see. Keep going, keep going. They've completely lost them.
The warthogs evaded both Sam
Keep going to your left.
and Sarabi, but neither gives up.
And there's another warthog.
A second warthog is oblivious to Sarabi closing in. But not for long. It's not her lucky day, nor Sam's.
It's been incredibly frustrating. We had several attempts, and unfortunately, just nothing. Every time you think something's going to happen, the prey sees the lions and run away.
In reality, only 1 in 5 lion hunts is successful, even for the most experienced hunters. but they can afford to take their time. This prime hunting ground is theirs alone, now that the Nomads are defeated. A week ago, the MK leaders, the Punks, attacked Thor and sent the Nomads packing.
To be honest, it might have been like the hit that the Nomads needed just to knock them back down to earth a little and remind them that they aren't the biggest males in the area yet. They're just lucky that they're 4 males together.
Nathan's been keeping tabs on the males since their attack. After the beating, the 4 Nomads fled north and once again entered the Hollywood's territory. Since their arrival, the brothers have been lying low.
The Nomads have literally, for the last 5 days, not been feeding, not been calling. I mean, I've seen it a couple of times in lines before where they just all sit down and they do absolutely nothing. I think the Nomads have definitely lost their attitude and their confidence.
The Nomads entered the valley on a mission to conquer a pride and gain a territory. But after Thor's beating from the Punks, the MK Pride is off their list, which leaves them one option: taking over the all-female Hollywood Pride. The last time they met, it didn't end well for the Hollywood females. The Nomads' attack 8 weeks ago left Ava, the matriarch, badly injured. The 6 lionesses retreated to the far north of their territory, where they've since made a full recovery. Sam's been keeping an eye on the females since they fled north. She's scouring the area where she saw them a few days ago. But she hits a roadblock.
Such a relaxed giraffe. It's just amazing being this close to him. So this is a thorny crop giraffe, and they are endemic to the valley, which is just another amazing thing about South Luangwa, really. It's a really beautiful and graceful animal. A great lion spotter also.
When giraffes stand still and stare at one spot, it usually means they've found lions. But there's no sign of them here. So Sam's using another bush trick to help her find the Hollywood females. She's following her nose.
So we were looking for the Hollywoods this morning, and while we were driving along the river, we came across something that was really smelly. So we thought, let's check out the smell first, and we've come across this dead hippo with a lot of crocs busy eating it. And what do you know, we found the Hollywoods watching the hippo being eaten. Nice knowing that trusting our instincts and following the hippo and the smell has led us to the lions. It's good to be here with them this morning.
The pungent smell of the carcass is likely what drew the lionesses here. Sam knows they haven't eaten for 4 days. They're ravenous, but the meal they've found is surrounded by bodyguards with the strongest jaws in the animal kingdom.
Unfortunately, the hippo is actually far into the water, so the Hollywoods wouldn't go out and attempt to eat the hippo. but you can see that they wish they could get to it.
It's tantalizing for the Hollywoods, but there'll be plenty more opportunities. This late in the dry season, more and more hippos are dying due to the extreme conditions. The herbivores need to eat 80 pounds of grass a day. But now there's precious little to be found. As the river dwindles, even their basic need to keep cool is something they must fight for. For all of Luangwa's grazers, October is the toughest month. The predators take full advantage.
At this time of the season, there's nothing that goes to waste. The animals are really hungry, everything's drying up. If a hippo dies, it just means a lot of crocs get fed. And if it dies next to the bank, it means the lions and the hyenas are going to eat it. So everything really has a purpose here, and everything gets used. The ultimate recycling in the bush.
"9 miles downriver, in the far south of the MK territory, Nathan's out looking for the 5 young cubs. He wants to make sure he doesn't miss any introductions with the rest of the family. Nathan finds them close to the river with their mothers and grandmother, doing their best to cope in a sweltering 110-degree heat. As usual, Zuri's cubs are sticking close to their mother in the shade. But Spotty, Rose's adventurous son, has other ideas. At 4 months old, he's growing bolder every day. Not for the first time, he's leading his sisters astray.
So 3 cubs have actually snuck off away from Mum, gone on their own little adventure, dropped down the edge of the bank and gone drinking. All these crocs around, that's absolutely insane. See some crocodiles moving over there, actually, in the water.
Rose's cubs are too young to understand the danger they're in.
Now, these really are the cheekiest little cubs. I mean, they really haven't quite learned a sort of healthy fear for the crocodiles yet. They're drinking at the edge, particularly without any parents near them. There's a high chance a croc could take one. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to intervene. We have to let nature sort of take its course.
The cubs have been gone for 10 minutes before Rosa realizes they're missing.
She's trying to see where they are. I don't think she actually saw where they've gone. She's looking a bit uncertain.
Rosa chooses to search upstream in the wrong direction. It's their Aunt Zuri who hears the cubs' distant calls.
She got up and ran across trying to help.
She can hear them, but she can't see them. The cubs have got themselves onto a rocky ledge.
They might be stuck down there. I mean, this is pretty dangerous for the cubs because it's very easy for them to slip and fall down. There's a crocodile coming. Crazy.
Zuri is desperate to help them, but she can't risk her cubs coming with her.
It's a pretty steep bank there, and I think you can see here the mother really doesn't want the cubs to go. She's grabbing them and pulling them back again.
She tries to leave her cubs with their grandmother.
She can't persuade her cubs to stay behind.
At last, Spotty finds a route out. It's a welcome reunion with their aunt. Yuri gets them as far from the river as she can. Having searched in the wrong direction, half a mile upstream, Rosa returns to find her cubs safe and sound, thanks to her sister.
They've all kind of wandered away from the water now, sat down, having a good feed, and I think sort of passing out for the night.
The cub's grandmother joins them. An extra pair of eyes could prove useful with cubs this unruly. As night falls, Axel and Mohawk return to watch over their cubs. Despite the lack of encouragement from the mothers, they seem determined to stick close by. After 3 years at the helm, the elderly punk's reign might soon be coming to an end. It's likely that these 5 cubs will be the last they sire. So the punk's drive to protect them is strong. While the mothers sleep, the brothers edge closer. But they've been spotted. Yuri and Rosa aggressively warn the males off. It might seem like strange behavior, but the mothers are conflicted. As fathers, Axel and Mohawk can offer the cubs protection. But male lions tend to attract violence. Keeping the cubs apart from these males could save their lives should the Nomads decide to invade again. The punks aren't here to cause trouble. They settle as close as the females will let them. While his mother and aunt sleep, once again, Spotty's curiosity gets the better of him. He can't resist a closer look. But he knows he's not allowed too near. It's not quite an introduction. But just being close is good enough for now. to the north, in the dead of night, the 6 Hollywood females make a daring move. The crocs have pulled the hippo carcass close to the bank, but on the wrong side of the river. Hungry stomachs drive them into the croc-infested water. Nova, the youngest female, bravely leads the way. It's a relief to get to dry land. But they still have to get to the carcass. Frustration is too much for Xena. One after another, the lionesses give up. Eventually, even Ava, the pride leader, admits defeat. The females will go hungry for yet another night. Dawn reveals the hippo carcass, even closer to the bank. The crocodiles, now well fed, are less bothered by the lions. After 5 days with nothing to eat, the Hollywoods get a meal at last. Retreating to the north after the Nomads invaded was a strategic move that's kept them safe. But while they've been hiding in the north of their territory, they've left their pride lands wide open in the south. And a new pride has walked right in. Not far from camp, Nathan and Sam discover the visitors.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Who do you have here?
I don't know, he's got a beautiful big mane. Yeah, I haven't seen him before.
The strange intruders are making themselves at home in the Hollywood's best hunting ground.
I mean, I suppose with the Hollywoods basically been absent and no males in this area, it's kind of like free game for any lions at the moment.
This is not good for the Hollywoods. They might find that by the time they do decide to return, they won't actually be, allowed back into this area. That would be such a shame. 12 years. 12 years of having this territory and then having some other random lions come in and take it away.
They really need to get back here and sort of get a hold of it, otherwise they might lose it altogether. No, it's not looking good for them.
Oblivious to the strange lions in their territory to the south, the Hollywoods have been tucking into the hippo carcass all morning. Now the heat is proving too much. Well fed, the lionesses relax at last. But unbeknownst to them, there's trouble on the way. Not only has a new pride moved into the south, The four nomads are also back in Hollywood territory, resting barely a mile downriver. Thor's injuries have healed well since the punks attacked him 6 days ago, but his confidence is still rock bottom. The brothers haven't eaten since the attack. But as the wind picks up, the scent of the hippo carcass drifts downriver. The chance of a meal spurs the brothers into action. The nomads arrive at the hippo carcass and find more than they bargained for. Across the river, on the opposite bank, are the Hollywood females. 6 healthy lionesses with no male guardians. A tantalizing prospect for the bachelors. Scent left behind by one of the females provides even greater temptation. Hormones in their urine can signal when a lioness is in heat. As lionesses often come into estrus together, it's possible the whole pride wants to mate. But the females have no reason to trust the previously violent males. To win them over, the nomads will have to show restraint and maturity. With uncharacteristic self-control, they wait and watch. It's evening, and Nathan's come to see if the MK mothers are managing to keep their spirited cubs out of trouble and away from their fathers.
So the mothers have brought the cubs here, having left the punks in that open area where they pretty much spent most of the night. And they're just sort of quite relaxed in the shade, so having a bit of a groom, a little bit of play.
The cubs are as curious as ever. In particular, Spotty. He discovers a group of helmeted guinea fowl that are passing through. Or were. Lions are opportunists, and guinea fowl are occasionally on the menu. The lions might be asleep, but perhaps it's wise to go the long way round. As dusk approaches, the cub's grandmother gets hungry. This is ideal hunting ground. Large numbers of prey pass through on their way to the river, and the dense thicket makes perfect cover for stalking.
Actually looks like the mums are starting to leave now. Interestingly, they're just leaving the cubs out there in the open next to the bush.
It's always risky leaving their cubs alone, But until the mothers rejoin their pride and can share food, they have to do their own hunting.
The danger of leaving cubs at night time is hyenas or other lions or other predators finding them, and they're way too small to defend themselves. And if the mothers are off quite far away hunting, then they won't be able to get back and help them.
For the first half hour, the cubs pass the time resting and sleeping. The Yuris too, as usual, stay hidden as they've been taught to. As darkness falls and the temperature cools, the cubs become more alert. The bush comes alive with the sounds of the night. One in particular catches the cubs' attention. They recognize their mother's growls. Spotty, appointing himself as leader, heads off to investigate. No one wants to be left behind. It's madness. They could easily run into hyenas or a leopard. This time, the cubs get away with it. They find their mothers and grandmother tucking into an impala. This is the cubs' first time at a kill, but they should never have come here alone. Luckily for them, Rosa and Zuri are too preoccupied with their meal to tell them off. The cubs' growing appetite for meat shows they're progressing well. With bellies full, the mothers head off and the cubs follow. All except Spotty. His first impala, and it's all for him. Or is it? Axel is never one to miss a free meal. Even Spotty knows better than to get between a male lion and his food. Tonight is not the night to meet his father. Spotty joins his siblings as another day of misadventure comes to an end. The next morning, in the northern edge of the Hollywood's territory, Nathan finds the all-female pride still on the far side of the river, having crossed to feed on a hippo carcass 2 days ago. Directly opposite them, back on the west bank, are the 4 nomads, still waiting for them.
I can see the 6 Hollywoods lying down by the edge of the river there. And we're kind of hoping they might cross over back into their territory.
The Hollywoods are in a dilemma. The strange lions that have moved in near camp could settle in permanently if the females don't return.
They desperately need to get back and regain their territory, but it's still so uncertain how the Nomads are going to react. There could well be another confrontation.
Crossing back over is high risk. Even without the Nomads blocking their path. Aggressive crocodiles and hippos are congregating in ever-increasing numbers.
It's a lot of small crocs, but there'll be a couple of really big ones, the dominant ones, and they're the ones that will take a lion if they cross.
But the Nomads aren't budging. Ava and her pride have only known the Nomads as a threat. There's no telling what their intentions are now. But it's clear they don't want to let the females out of their sight. Far to the south, in MK territory, Sam is back with the MK teenagers. The Pride is still near the river, which is giving the teens plenty of chance to practice hunting.
The MKs have chosen a great spot. This is the path where prey love to come down to drink towards the river. So it's a nice spot. We've already seen elephants and some impala coming down in the distance.
Sam has yet to film a hunt and is hoping that today might be the teenagers' lucky day. Soon the youngsters will have to become proficient hunters. With such a choice of targets, this is an ideal place to hone their skills.
They've spotted some warthogs in the distance, and Kimba's already got his head up and he's looking.
His sister Maya's also alert.
Maya's by herself, resting in the shade, and she seems quite active. She's looking around, keeping aware. Okay, so the heads have popped up. Oh, there's some impala coming now. Quite a big herd, actually. Maya was actually paying the most attention. Oh, she's going for the impala. She's going. She's got the impala. Oh, the rest of the lions are running in now. She's dragging the impala off.
It's a double victory. A first for Maya and for Sam.
That was wild. She just went for this impala, and I wasn't ready, and I've been waiting for it for ages, and it's, oh man. I didn't expect it, and that's when it happened. I'm quite surprised because Maya made the kill, and she's the youngest in the MK Pride. Yeah, she got it. It's really impressive. I think that just gives her hope for the future, that she is a good hunter and she can fend for herself.
It's a huge milestone for Maya. And great news for the Pride. Another capable hunter to help feed its growing ranks. At first light, Nathan's out looking for Rosa, Azuri, and their 5 cubs. who've moved on from the place he last saw them.
Fresh cub tracks going away. You can see the mother and cub tracks, and here particularly you can see the cub tracks following here. And they're not so little cub tracks anymore. They're certainly getting bigger, these guys. And the river's back this way, so these cub tracks are actually going down towards the river. There they are.
Nathan's bush skills have led him right to the cubs. Their mothers, grandmother, and their fathers are all here together.
Everybody's gone all the way down onto the beach. It's about 200 meters away. We can't quite get there without risking getting stuck and having to push in the sand in front of the lines, which is probably not the best idea. Axel's actually walking towards the cubs.
It looks like the punks and cubs are finally going to meet properly. Axel heads straight towards Zuri.
She doesn't seem too bothered.
But instead of greeting them, he walks right past.
Is he trying to cross? He's actually going into the water. I think he's actually going to cross the river.
Axel and Mohawk have waited 3 days for an introduction to their cubs. But now it looks like they're moving on.
Mohawk seems to be following as well.
It's not clear why the punks are crossing over to the east bank. But this is where they last saw Thor. They might think that the Nomads are still here and want to make sure that the coast is clear. Far to the north, the Hollywoods are still stuck on the east bank. For 3 days now, the Nomads have been staking them out from across the river. As night falls, the Nomads give in to sleep. The Hollywoods seize their chance. They sneak off, moving a mile downstream. Despite the danger of crossing at night, the females take the plunge. After 9 weeks in exile, the Hollywoods are back on home ground. But will they be able to reclaim it? And how long will it be before the Nomads track them down?